Hello, my name is Kim and welcome to the Embroidered Elephant channel. Today I am going to be doing a crochet project with you. So if I'm being completely honest, get comfy. So I've been doing this channel for quite a number of years, and if I'm being completely honest, this year I haven't felt very crochet-y. So originally when I started this channel, it was to document my crochet projects, start a podcast, and also along the way I have gone over various sewing projects as well, such as when I made my wedding dress. I have gone slightly outside of these topics on occasion, but it doesn't tend to be. It usually tends to be around crocheting, yarn, or fabric and sewing. Recently this year I set myself a goal to read more books, and so far, although initially in 2025 the plan was to read 12 books, I have blown that number out of the water, and at the moment I am on over 40 books so far. Now, because I've been reading a lot more books recently, I feel that I haven't been crocheting as much because more of my time is spent reading than it is crocheting. Now, a couple of ways that I've tried to sort of counter that is to listen to more audiobooks so my hands are free to crochet, and also I have been doing a crochet book blanket. So every book that I finish, I am crocheting a granny square for the cover. So that's sort of prompting me to crochet more, because I am crocheting a square for every book that I finish. Obviously, having finished over 40 books, I have, in theory, over 40 squares. So it is prompting me to crochet more. However, I am missing the crochet aspect to all of this, and as nice and as comfortable as it is to crochet granny squares, it's not quite the crochet that I'm used to. So I had a little think about it, and I've been thinking about this for a little while, and really what has prompted me to build on this idea is a book that I read recently, which was really good. I would really recommend it. It's called Hex, and it is by Jenni Fagan. Now, my plan, just to introduce it to you, is to crochet little trinkets of the books that I read. So I won't be doing this for all of the books that I read, because if you're a reader, you'll know that there's not necessarily something in every book to crochet. There's not necessarily a trinket of all of the books. So for example, I read quite a lot of adult books. That sounds wrong. So for example, I've read a couple of books about sort of consent and abuse and topics like that. I don't think that it's appropriate for me to try and crochet something that represents consent or abuse or murder, for example. However, I think with the books that I've been reading, sometimes there's a theme, and with that there's something that would represent that quite well. So for example, the book that I'm going to start with is Hex. So as you can see from the cover, it has got a crow on the front. Now, just to read you the blurb of this book so that you know sort of what it's about. It's the 4th of December 1591. On this, the last night of her life, in a prison cell several floors below Edinburgh's High Street, convicted witch Geillis Duncan receives a mysterious visitor, Iris, who says she comes from a future where women are still persecuted for who they are and what they believe. As the hours pass and dawn approaches, Geillis recounts the circumstances of her arrest, brutal torture, confession and trial, while Iris offers support, solace and the tantalising prospect of escape. Hex is a visceral depiction of what happens when a society is consumed by fear and superstition, exploring how the terrible force of a king's violent crusade against ordinary women can still be felt right up to the present day. So it is quite a feminist book. It is a short story, so it's only about 100 pages long. It's literally 101 pages, so I would recommend this. I borrowed it from the library. It was such a good book for me that I would like to crochet a little trinket. And as you can see from the cover, it has a crow on the front. So what I would really like to do is to use some of my stash yarn to crochet a crow. Now the crow is quite a big part of the book. So the witch who comes to support Geillis in the prison cells is called Iris, and she transforms into a crow at the time that Geillis needs her, and she is there to support her, and because she is a crow she can get away with supporting her more so. So it's just a really beautiful book, but my plan is to crochet a crow. So my first step was to go on to Ravelry and have a look at some of the patterns. Now usually I go for free patterns, so I am trying to stick with that again. So let me turn you around so you can see the selections I'm looking at. So this is probably not the best angle, however it's working for now. So I've seen a couple of crows that I really like the look of. This first one is by Luna Lana Handmade, and it is the Curvo crow, probably saying that wrong. So this is what he looks like, or she looks like, and I quite like the wings. The eye is beautiful as well. It's got a little tail as well, and just the head is beautiful. I think that it's probably changeable, i.e. you can change the direction of it. So that's the first choice I have. I also saw some other ones that I quite liked the look of. So this one is a raven, but probably showing my... I don't really know the difference between ravens and crows, so I feel as though if I do a raven, probably won't make much of a difference. I will still associate it with the book. So this is Raven V2 by I Crochet Things. And again, this is free on Ravelry. So the main difference with this is it looks as though it is crocheted in one part, whereas the other one is crocheted in two parts. So you've got a separate head and a separate body. Now, neither of these say exactly how much yarn will be used. There's been quite a lot of people crocheting him as well. So I have had a look at both of the patterns, and the one I'm going to go with is the Luna Lana Handmade pattern, so the one where the head swivels round. I have had a look at the comments, and some of them say that the pattern's slightly confusing, but then I've looked at the comments on the other pattern, and some people say it's a little bit confusing, so I feel like there may be confusion with either way that I go, so I'm going to go with the one that I prefer, which is the Curvo crow pattern. I believe it's Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. If it was French I might have half a chance, but I don't. Right, so I'm going to use stash yarn for this, so I am going to have a look at what yarn I have and pick the best fit. So we'll go into my little cupboard. Oh, so this is being saved for a cardigan. This is a big set as well, so I need to clear some room out. So apart from obviously crocheting some things, another reason that I need to crochet more is because my yarn stash is quite big and I don't want it to be this big. I need to be able to find things easier, so that's exactly what I'm going to try and do with crocheting with crocheting stuff from my stash, so that took way too long, which is why I need to sort it out and get rid of some more yarn, hopefully through using it, but I also need to have a sort out, to be fair, so problem for another day. Anyway, the yarn that I've decided to go for is Toft. So the colour I've decided to go for is from Toft. It is called Charcoal. It's left over from my Charles Darwin. And I've got quite a lot, so hopefully this should be fine. It says in the pattern that it takes approximately 20 grams to make. This is more than 20 grams. So this will be fine. And I've also got some stuffing left over from Charles Darwin as well, so I can use some of that. So yeah, a very tofty raven. So let me get started. I will not film the whole process because I don't want the video to be too long, but I will give you regular updates. I am also going to be trying to listen to an audiobook as well, so that I can read some more books and also to keep me interested. But yeah, let's see how long this takes. Hopefully it'll be straightforward. I don't know what I'm going to do. If it's too complicated, probably give up. No, I won't give up. I definitely won't give up. Cool, see you in a minute. Wing number 1 is done and it took less than 10 minutes. So it's not the easiest to see with black yarn. It doesn't look perfect, but I'm going to see if I can steam block it or something just to put it into a better shape. These are meant to be straighter, sort of straight out rather than curly. I can also modify that by sewing the wing on. So yeah, wing number 1 done, wing number 2 to go. Wing number 2 is finished. Looks the same as wing 1, to be honest. It did give instructions so that the feathers would be on the right side. To be honest, because it's quite dark yarn and it's wool that I'm using, I can't actually tell the difference between the right side and the wrong side, so I just made it the same as the first one. It literally took me 5 minutes, so now it is on to the head. Make the head, then the... Okay, so the head, the body, and then the tail. And then you can make some eyes as well, but I quite like the look of just having some buttons. That looks quite cool. So yeah, let me get started. I have just finished the head. It's got an indent in the middle so that it sits on the neck and it can swivel, which is really cool. This took me about an hour to do, so I'm getting there slowly but surely. But yeah, he's looking pretty cool so far. She is looking quite cool so far. So yeah, now I'm going to start the body. The head wasn't difficult to do at all. The beak is done last. The only thing that was a little bit difficult for me is when I did the magic ring, I went to pull the tail so that it tightened and the yarn unfortunately broke, so I had to try and fix that, so it took a little bit longer. But yeah, really cool so far. It's a really cool concept, so I can't wait to sew the eyes on and the beak and yeah, finish the body really. Cool. The body looks fairly easy. It's only 17 rows. However, I would say that there are a few diagrams, so I don't know if it's a little bit tricky maybe at parts. I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, let's see how long this one takes. So this is the body I've just finished. So obviously the neck, this is the bum where the tail will go. I will say that I didn't listen to some of the instructions, or I didn't quite understand some of them correctly. So at the bottom there's sort of a circular part. It is meant to be more like a ring external so that it stands up properly. At the moment the little bird doesn't stand up, but that was my own mistake. But this is him with his head on. And as I said, once I put the eyes on and the beak, he will look really cute, and she will look really cute, and she will be able to move her head as well. So this is where the tail will go. Obviously the wings will go on the side. I need to crochet the tail, the beak, and attach the eyes and the wings, and then she will be done. It's 1 o'clock though, so I'm going to have some dinner. I'm going to have some lunch even. That took around 50 minutes, so not quite an hour. So the top took about an hour, the body's taken about an hour so far. The wings took about 5 minutes each, so far it's taken me about 2 hours. So yeah, maybe I'll be able to get this done before I finish my book. But yeah, very cute so far. The head is a lot bigger, well, about the same size as the body. I'm guessing that's just the design, and obviously the tail and the wings will make it look bigger, but yeah, very cute so far. So very interestingly, I have just I've put a pin in the wings so that they are sort of the same height, size. I will do that again in a minute. Let's take those out for a minute. So to do the tail, you actually work into some stitches that are already there. So you probably won't be able to see it with the black yarn, but there is a line of stitches across here that was created by the front loop onlys. So I'm literally working the tail into this, which is really cool. So I'm going to do the tail and then I'll come back to you. So it took about 15 minutes to do the tail and to crochet the wings on. Again, sorry that the light isn't the best. It's a shame that they're so curly and that they're so outwardly out. I think that's one of the reasons that it would have been beneficial to use cotton instead of wool, but it's done now, and maybe it looks a little bit more natural. You see how it just sort of goes to the side. But I think, again, with blocking, maybe I'll be able to sort that out. So the next part is for me to crochet the beak. So the beak. Yeah, so the next thing for me to crochet is the beak. And again, I think I'm going to do that in black, just so that it's matching the front of the book cover. What I'm also going to do is crochet around the bottom so that it stands upright, because at the moment it just falls over. But yeah, so she is finished. Here is her with the book that I was inspired by. Now this was really easy to do. The head does come off, so it is completely movable. And I don't know the height, but she fits in the palm of my hand, which is very nice. I need to sort out the wings, but apart from that, she is good. I just need to do a bit of blocking and the feathers will look a lot better. So again, this is the Curvo Crow pattern by Luna Lana Handmade. She is on Ravelry. And this was a project that was inspired by the book Hex by Jenni Fagan. I would highly recommend reading this book. I really enjoyed it. The pattern was really good as well. The only thing that I need to do is just to block the feathers a little bit so that they are straight rather than curly. But apart from that, it was a fun project that only took around 3 hours to do. The yarn I used was Toft. Everything that I used will be linked below. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching this video. I look forward to speaking to you again soon with another book inspired project. So thank you very much. I hope you are well. Take care. Bye.